The Apple Watch is finally getting its biggest redesign ever after many years of basically the same general curved glass design that had slight tweaks with the Series 4 and the Series 7, but now we're finally getting something much better and with the same $400 price tag. So let's jump right into my own custom renders that I just had created by Shailesh on Twitter based on all of the leaks and rumors that we have today, and I'm also gonna explain the reasoning behind every part and why it just makes sense for Apple's huge 10-year anniversary redesign. First of all, Mark Gurman recently leaked that the 2024 Apple Watch will feature a new look, which obviously points to the regular $400 model. And no, it's not this flat edge design which was thrown around for a while but never ended up happening, probably because it just doesn't look that sleek and luxurious. So Apple has to merge in a design that's similar to what we have now, being nice and sleek, but it also has to look just a little bit different. So here's what I came up with. Let's start with this first image of a silver Apple Watch X, which looks pretty familiar, doesn't it? Yup, that's because it's based on the new Apple Watch Ultra that came out last year with a really unique design that nobody was expecting at the time, especially with the huge crown and crown guard that extends out of the right side, and the cool speaker cutouts and action button on the left side, and a protruding top section which fully envelops the new flat display. My take on the $400 Series X is that it should essentially take the best parts of the expensive $800 Ultra, but not all of it, as you'll see in the rest of my renders. So you can see that the crown is a lot smaller than on the Ultra, and the sides are now flat without that crown guard that sticks out the side. And then from this angle, you can see that the bottom basically remains unchanged other than the Series X text, and that's to keep the design similar and help save money on Apple's part, because I think the sensors on the bottom are not going to be changing. And then of course you can see the single speaker slot on the left side and without the action button, because I think those cool unique design features are going to be exclusively for the higher priced Apple Watch Ultra, and the Series X is going to be a lot more simple. And here it is in the product red finish, looking beautiful and sleek, and the biggest change you'll notice is that the display is now completely flat, borrowing that same protrusion that we have on the Ultra, which I believe is the best way to give it a flat display. And why flat? Well, because it makes the display glass thinner, so it actually leaves you with more internal space for larger batteries and components, which is what Apple always wants. But more importantly, the display glass is much better protected from impacts compared to the curved glass design. For example, my wife's Series 8 cracked the first time she dropped it on a tile floor within the first week, while my Ultra is completely fine and protected after multiple drops. But with that said, I've got to admit something important about my renders. I've left probably the coolest aspect of the new design out of these renders because honestly, I'm just not sure how it's gonna look or how Apple is going to pull this off. What I mean is that last year in August, Mark Gurman gave us a shocking leak saying that the Apple Watch X would have a massive redesign to introduce a new band system and more. Specifically, the current bands that we have now would no longer be compatible because Apple would give this new watch a new magnetic band attachment system where you'll be able to somehow attach them magnetically, but it'll also be strong enough to not come off accidentally. And the crazy thing is that we've actually been getting multiple leaks that point to the magnetic system coming this year, starting with Mark Gurman's leak mentioning a brand new look, as well as sleep apnea and blood pressure monitoring. So one point to make is that if Apple is truly changing the look, why not also change the band attachment system at the same time for the 10th anniversary of the Apple Watch? And then we also had another leak from Kasutami on Twitter, who said that the connectors on the next gen Apple Watch have been completely redesigned so that old bands will no longer work. So because of how complex this could be, I left this aspect out of the renders so I can leave it up to your imagination in terms of how it would look and how it would work. But with the new band system, there are going to be two major benefits from Apple's point of view. The first first benefit is that it'll save significant amounts of internal space, which means that Apple can fit in a larger battery for even better battery life, or they can alternatively choose to make the overall design thinner instead. But the second major benefit has actually been revealed in Apple's patents. Their new magnetic band system will also include electrical contacts for transferring power and data from the Apple Watch to the brand new custom band designs. Because yes, Apple will finally be introducing new bands that can be packed with a variety of different sensors, batteries, designs, and more. So just imagine the smart connector pins on the iPad Pro. Those same pins will be on each side of the new band connections. And if you're wondering what's possible with this, well, here's a hint. The new blood pressure monitoring system that Mark Gurman said was coming on the 2024 Apple Watch could actually rely on the new electrical band system. Here's a patent that Apple filed for that shows off a brand new band that has special weaves and wiring inside of it, allowing it to tighten and contract around a user's wrist, which is something currently required for accurate blood pressure monitoring on those cuff sleeves that people use. On top of that, there are multiple bands that had custom health sensors built into the actual bands themselves, allowing the new watch to support brand new health features that wouldn't be possible any other way, like let's say blood glucose monitoring. And this right here is a genius idea because Apple can separate the blood glucose feature out of the watch itself so they can keep the price the same, but then they can sell you an expensive $200 band that can non-invasively measure your glucose levels at any moment. And same thing for the blood pressure band. This could be sold separately at a higher price. We also saw patents of bands with built-in battery cells, which would be basically a battery life extender for those who want to double their battery life for hiking trips or whatever else. But now getting back to the design, there was one leaker who thinks that this band system redesign isn't actually coming in 2024 at all. Ming-Chi Kuo thinks the design is going to be unchanged. So with all that said, I guess that we have three options right now. Number one is a full redesign, including the new band system. Number two is just the design change on the outside alone, so essentially looking exactly like all the renders that I made with the flat display and protruding metal ring to protect it, which is just enough of a redesign to look great. And then finally, number three, nothing changes at all and we get another boring update, which in my opinion is not gonna happen because that's basically what we got with the Series 9. It only had an updated display to be brighter and a new chip, and honestly, I don't think it was enough. So I fully believe that some sort of design change is needed for the 10th anniversary Apple Watch this year, and I think it makes sense for Apple to go all out with this new magnetic band attachment system. So with that said, hopefully you enjoyed this video as well as my new custom renders. You can subscribe above for more videos like this one and check out one of those two right over there. Thanks for watching and we'll see you in the next video.